Are you dreaming of traveling around Europe by train? Well, this is your ultimate guide on how to do just that with an Eurail or Eurail pass. In this video, we're going to share why we believe train travel is the best way to get around Europe and how you can visit 33 countries with just one single train pass. We've personally used the Eurail pass around Europe a few times, so we'll give you a clear rundown on how to use the pass app, as well as the benefits of choosing to travel this way. And stick around until the end, where we'll share our top 5 tips for traveling by train with a Eurail pass. Before we dive in, let's quickly clear up a common question. What's the difference between Eurail and Eurail? The passes are essentially the same thing, with the same benefits and coverage across 33 countries. The only difference is who they're for. If you live outside of Europe, you'll buy a Eurail pass. And if you're a European resident, you'll buy an Eurail pass. That's it. The same trains, same system, just a different name depending on where you live. For example, I'm from the UK, so I use an Eurail pass. But my husband, Corey, is from New Zealand, so he uses a Eurail pass. We travel together on the exact same itinerary, and it's completely fine. One of the best things about traveling by train in Europe is just how well connected everything is. Major cities like Paris, Amsterdam, Barcelona, and Rome are linked by fast, frequent trains, which means you can get from city center to city center without the hassle of airports. There are no security lines or long transfers into town, and no flight delays. You just hop on and you're on your way. Another reason we love it is the experience itself. Train journeys in Europe can be stunningly scenic. Whether it's weaving through the Swiss Alps, gliding along the Italian Riviera, or rolling through the vineyards of France, you'll see landscapes that you'd completely miss if you were flying. Personally, this is why we love train travel so much. The views can be absolutely breathtaking, and we just find this mode of transport far more stress-free than dealing with airports or driving in a foreign country, which can sometimes be very overwhelming. And finally, it's also a more sustainable way to travel. Trains have a much lower carbon footprint compared to planes, so you can explore more of Europe while being kinder to the planet. So now let's talk about the benefits of using a Eurail or Eurail pass. The biggest advantage is how much money you can save, especially if you're planning to visit multiple countries. Instead of buying individual tickets for every single journey, the pass covers your travel across 33 different countries on one ticket. That flexibility means it's really easy to plan a route or even change plans along the way. We've actually tracked the routes we've taken in the past and calculated the cost if we booked each train individually, and we definitely saved money using the pass. Another great feature is that the passes are designed to help you build itineraries. On the Eurail and Eurail websites, you'll find sample routes, suggested trips, and planning tools that make it much easier to map out your travels. I'd highly recommend checking out the website for inspiration for your trip. There are so many itineraries on there, so it's a great place to start while you're researching your route. And of course, it's not just about saving money, it's also about convenience. One pass gives you access to most trains across Europe, from high-speed lines to regional connections, without needing to buy separate tickets every time you travel to a new country. When it comes to choosing a pass, there are a couple of main options. If you're planning to visit more than one country, the Global Pass is the best choice. It covers all 33 countries and gives you the most flexibility. But if you're focusing on just one destination, like Italy or France, you can buy a one-country pass, which is usually cheaper and perfect for a shorter trip. There are also 2 types of passes to consider. A continuous pass, which gives you unlimited travel every day for a set period of time, like 15 days straight. Or a flexi pass, which gives you a certain number of travel days within a larger time frame, like 7 days of travel within one whole month. The Flexi Pass is great if you plan to stay a few nights in each city before moving on. And here's something a lot of people don't know: there are discounts available. If you're under 27, you qualify for a youth discount. There are also passes for seniors over 60 and family passes where children can travel for free when accompanied by an adult. So depending on your age or who you're traveling with, you could make the pass even more affordable. Another choice you'll need to make is whether to travel in first or second class. We've used both, and honestly, second class in Europe is already really good. The seats are comfortable, you still get plenty of legroom, and you'll often be sitting alongside other travelers, which can make the journey more social. But first class does give you some extra perks. The seats are usually wider, and there's more space for your luggage. On some trains, you'll find extras like individual screens, power outlets, or even complimentary drinks. Many first-class carriages also offer Wi-Fi, which can be a big help if you're working on the road. In certain countries, a first-class ticket even gets you access to station lounges, which is a nice bonus if you have a longer wait between trains. That said, the experience really depends on the country and the specific train. For example, in Germany or France, you'll notice a bigger difference, whereas in Eastern Europe, the carriages are often quite similar in both classes. So if you're on a tighter budget, second class is comfortable enough. If you want more space and comfort, first class can definitely be worth the upgrade. One of the best things about the Eurail and Eurail passes is that everything is digital now. You'll use the Rail Planner app to manage your whole trip. Here's how it works. First, download the app and add your pass. Once it's linked to your account, you can start planning your journey right inside the app. For some trains, especially high-speed or overnight routes, you'll need to reserve a seat. You can check this directly in the app. Once you've booked your seat reservation, you then add that journey to your pass. Before boarding, you need to activate your travel day, which generates a QR code that acts as your ticket. Train staff will scan this code on board. Just make sure you activate the correct travel day before your train departs, because if you forget, you could get fined. Conductors need to see the actual pass inside the app alongside the QR code. Now, we'll be honest, we think the app could definitely be more user-friendly. But that said, the savings you get from using the pass far outweigh the learning curve in our opinion. So what actually counts as a travel day? A travel day is any day you use your pass to hop on a train, and it's essentially unlimited travel between midnight and 11:59 p.m. The same day. If you travel on an overnight train, this still counts as one travel day, as long as you don't change trains on the second day. This is really handy because it means you can squeeze in long overnight journeys without needing an extra travel day. We've actually taken advantage of this ourselves by traveling long distances using multiple trains in a single day, so we were able to cover a lot of ground while using only one travel day. Also, if you're using a FlexiPass, only the days you actually travel count, so you could spend a couple of days exploring a city without using a travel day, which gives you a lot of flexibility. Another important thing to know is that not all trains are treated the same when it comes to reservations. On the other hand, most regional and local trains don't require reservations. It gives you flexibility to explore smaller towns and less traveled routes without having to plan months in advance. But make sure you always check before you travel. The app or the website will tell you if a train needs a reservation, so you can avoid any last-minute surprises. We actually used our pass on ferries in Greece and Italy and got 30% off because we were using the Global Pass. It is definitely worth checking the website before your trip because they list all of the ferries that offer discounts with the pass. This can open up some unique routes and make island hopping much easier and more affordable. And as promised, we are going to end this video by sharing our top 5 tips for making the most of your Eurail or Eurail pass. Second, give yourself plenty of time between transfers. Some connections are tight, and stations can be busy and confusing, especially in big cities. Not all trains have dining cars, and some journeys can be several hours long, so having your own snacks keeps you comfortable and saves money. I'm going to be honest, the Wi-Fi doesn't always work, so make sure you have a backup like a good book, a podcast, or a downloaded movie to keep yourself entertained. And there you have it, our top 5 tips.